Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video, we will read Class 8 Supplementary Book Chapter 2, Children at Work. Child labor is a crime. It's a punishable offense. Every child on this earth has the right to education and the right to have a happy and healthy childhood. Still, some children have to work. Why do children work? Let's understand through this chapter, Children at Work. There are many reasons why children have to work. Some help their family make a livelihood. Others, who run away from unhappy homes, need to support themselves. Children who have to work can't go to school and play like other children of their age. Children work. There are many reasons for them to work. Some have to support their family. They have to earn for their family. Others have unhappy homes, quarreling parents, poverty, or other reasons due to which they have to support themselves. Such children who work, they don't have a normal childhood. They don't go to school like other children and they don't play. They have to work to support their life. In this chapter, we will study about Velu and Jaya. In this part, we will see that Velu, an 11-year-old boy, runs away from home. He wandered around for hours before getting on a train to Chennai without a ticket. Tired and hungry, he doesn't know where to go when a stranger at the station shouts a word of welcome. Velu, who is an 11-year-old boy, he runs away from home and he roams around for hours before getting on Chennai Express. He gets on the train without a ticket. He is tired, he is hungry, and he doesn't know where to go. Then a stranger calls him and welcomes him. When the Kanyakumari Express pulled in at Chennai Central, pulled in means stopped or arrived. It took Velu some time to get off. When he finally stood on the platform, his legs felt wobbly. Wobbly means shaky, unsteady, as if he was still on a moving train. So Velu, who ran away from home, climbed Kanyakumari Express, and when it stopped at Chennai Central, Velu got off the train, and when he stood on the platform, he felt that his legs were still shaking, as if he was on a moving train. "Oi, out of the way!" A porter went by with a loaded trolley. Velu jumped aside. We often see vendors and porters moving around on platform. A porter came on the way of Velu and Velu had to jump aside. He sat on a bench on the platform, putting his small bundle down. In all his 11 years, he had never seen so many people except once a year at the fair in his village. People walked by, bumping into him with their suitcase. Bumping into means suddenly running into somebody, suddenly coming in front of someone. A voice announced something on a loudspeaker. So this is the scene of a railway station. Velu just sat on a bench with a small bundle that he carried. He put it down. In all his 11 years of life, he had never seen so many people, except for once when he went to a village fair. He saw people bumping into each other with their suitcase, and there was announcement with a loudspeaker. Near him, a group of people sat on their luggage, looking at TV hanging from the roof. The noise was terrible. So next to him, people were sitting on their luggage looking at the TV, and the noise was terrible. It was very loud. Velu put his head down on his knees, feeling miserable. Miserable means very unhappy and exhausted. He had run away from his village 2 days ago. For 2 days, he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. In his bundle, he carried a shirt, a towel, and a comb. So Velu just sat down. He was very unhappy. He was very sad. He was also very tired. He ran away from his village 2 days ago, and from those 2 days he had eaten nothing but just some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. Jaggery is a sweet thing made from sugar cane. And in the bundle that he had carried a shirt, a towel, and a comb. He had walked for most of the first day to Kannur and then got on the train to Chennai. Velu had no money for a ticket, but luckily the ticket collector didn't come to the unreserved compartment. He had tried to sleep on the floor near the door. A group of men next to him had played cards and shouted all night. So for the first day, most of the day, he just walked to Kannur from where he had run away, and then he got on the train to Chennai. Velu did not have money to buy ticket. He had traveled in unreserved compartment, and he was lucky that the ticket collector didn't come there to check the ticket. He tried to sleep on the floor which was near the door, and a group of men who were sitting next to him, they were playing cards the whole night and shouting, and that is why Velu was not able to sleep. "Hey, what, new to the town?" called out a rough voice. Velu opened his eyes. There were a lot of people standing around, but nobody was looking at him. "Here, eh?" So Velu heard a voice which called, "Hey, what, are you new to the town?" The voice called, and Velu looked around. There were many people, but nobody was looking at him. So Velu just wondered, who is calling him? "Here, eh?" He turned around. Behind him was a girl around his own age. So there was a girl behind him who was of his age, and the girl was calling him. Velu looked back, and it was a girl of his own age, wearing a long banyan that came down to her knees. So she was wearing a long banyan. Banyan is an inner cloth, a waist which is generally worn by boys. It was very long, which was coming to her knees. Her hair was stiff and brownish, and she had a huge sack on one shoulder. So her hair were brownish, they were very stiff, they were not combed, they were not clean. And there was a huge sack, a huge jute bag on one of her shoulder. She was picking up dirty plastic cups from the floor and stuffing them into her sack. "Why is she calling me?" thought Velu. "And why is a girl wearing a banyan?" So the girl was picking up plastic cups that were scattered on the platform, and she was putting it into her sack. And Velu just wondered, why is this girl calling me? She doesn't even know me. And why is this girl wearing a banyan? No need to stare stupidly. "What's your name?" So Velu started staring the girl, looking at the girl, and the girl said, "Don't stare me, no need of staring." And then she asked Velu his name. "Velu," muttered Velu, looking away. Velu was not interested, so he just muttered casually, "Velu." Muttered means to speak in a very low and angry voice, which is often difficult to hear. And Velu just looked away. "So, Mr. Velu," said the girl, looking at his bundle, "run away from home?" Velu didn't answer. He didn't want to tell some strange girl what he had done. He had run away because he couldn't stand his father beating him for one more day. His father would snatch away all the money Velu and his sisters earned and spent it on drink. So the girl looked at Velu's bundle, and she at once understood that Velu has run away from home, and she asked the same question to Velu. Velu did not answer because he did not want to give answer to a strange girl. Velu had run away because of his father. His father used to beat him and snatch away all the money that Velu and his sisters had earned, and he would spend it on drink. So Velu had to run away from his home. "Don't think I don't know. The place is full of children like you. So what are you going to do here? Become rich?" So the girl, who was an experienced one, she said, "Don't you think that I don't know about you, because this place is full of children like you." Then she asked, "What are you going to do here? Do you want to become rich?" She sat down next to him. Velu shifted slightly away. So the girl was being friendly at that time, and she sat next to Velu, and Velu was feeling shy. He just shifted a bit. He felt hunger pinching him and pressed his stomach with a grimace. Grimace means twisting expression on face. "Hungry?" asked the girl. You won't get food by sitting here glummy." Glummy means sadly, making faces. "I can find some if you want." So Velu was just sitting there feeling hungry. His tummy was going inside. There was a hungry expression on his face. And the girl said, "If you're hungry, you can't get food by just sitting sadly here and making faces." And then she said, "I can find you some food." She picked up her sack and started to walk away. Velu stayed on the bench. What should he do? Should he follow this girl? Where was she going to take him? She was disappearing in the crowd. So he had to make up his mind quickly. "All right," he decided. "Anyway, I have no idea where to go." He jumped up and ran after her. She wasn't even looking back to see where he was. So the girl, she just picked up her sack and she started to walk away. And Velu sat there on the bench thinking, what should he do? Where is the girl going to take him to get food? She was quickly going in the crowd and disappearing. So Velu had to make his mind quickly because he was hungry and he didn't have an idea where to go. So finally he decided to go after the girl. He jumped from his place and ran away after the girl. And the girl was not even looking at him. She was just going. Now in second part, we will see that Velu follows his friend through the crowded streets to a big building. Behind the building, there is a big garbage bin. Velu wonders why they are there at all. So Velu follows this girl. She takes him through the crowded street to a big building where there is a big garbage bin behind the building, and Velu just wondered why they were there. He caught up with the girl as she was leaving the station. When they got to the road, Velu found that the vehicles kept coming and never stopped for anyone. Smoke and dust flew at him from all sides, making his head spin. They had to wait for a long time before they could find a gap to run through. Velu kept hesitating, and the girl finally dragged him to the other side. So Velu finally caught up. He came equal to the girl when she has left the station, and they came on the road. Since Velu was from village, he had not seen so many vehicles. He just saw that the vehicles kept coming and they didn't stop for anyone. Smoke and dust was coming from all sides, making Velu's head spin. Head spin means giving him headache or making him feel dizzy. So they had to wait for a long time to cross road, and Velu kept hesitating in crossing the road. And finally the girl helped him by grabbing his hand and dragging him to the other side. What do you think you are doing? Grazing cows? If you stand around in the middle of the road like that, you will be chutney. So the girl said she was experienced. So she told Velu, what do you think you are doing? You cannot stand in the middle of the road. Do you think you are just grazing the cows? If you stand like this, you will be crushed. You will be chutney means you will be crushed. Velu's heart was still beating fast. He looked back at Central Station and the traffic speeding by. How had they managed to come through that? They walked along the side of the road under some huge signboards. So Velu, since he was from village, this was all new for him. He was very nervous. He was even scared, and he looked back and he saw that the traffic in the central station, and he just wondered how they managed to come there. And then they walked along the side of the road under some huge signboards. There were some huge signboards. Velu looked up at the pictures of banyans, car tires, pens, a woman holding a box. The writing was all in English, so he didn't know what it meant. So Velu looked at the signboards. They were all advertisement, and it was all written in English. So Velu couldn't read what they meant. The girl turned onto a wide bridge and walked up. Velu stopped and peeped over the railing. Peeped means to look quickly. Under him, the road ran into the city. In the distance, he could see huge buildings and towers and more roads. So they went ahead. They walked on a bridge. Velu just stopped and looked over the railing, and he saw the roads were just running into the city, and at distances there were huge buildings and towers and more roads. So he was in the city, not from his village, but everything was new for him. So he was just surprised with the way cities were. See that big building with the wall around it? If you are not careful, you'll soon be counting bars there. The girl grinned and pointed at a huge building. Velu squinted. Squinted means try to look more keenly with making your eyes small or partially closing your eyes. And read the Tamil sign, Central Jail. So there was a big building with a wall around, and the girl said that if you're not careful, you will be counting bars. That means you will be behind bars in that building. And she just smiled, pointing towards the building. And Velu tried to read. It was written in Tamil, Central Jail. So Velu could read Tamil but not English. Why? I haven't done anything wrong. You don't have to do anything wrong. Just don't get caught, that's all. So Velu said, why would I be there? I have not done anything wrong. And the girl said that you don't have to do anything wrong to be there. You just have to be careful not to be caught. What does she mean? Velu wondered. Meanwhile, the girl was already heading down the bridge with a sack on her shoulder. What was in it? He had seen her putting plastic cups into it at the station. What are you carrying in that bag? Things, bottles, papers. Velu wondered what she was doing with them, but he felt shy to ask any more questions. So Velu wondered what does she mean by being careful and don't get caught. But the girl kept walking. She was already down the bridge which sat on her shoulder, and Velu just wondered what is there. He asked her what was there, and she just said things like bottles, papers, and Velu was just wondering what will she do with all those things, but he was too shy to ask any more questions. It was still morning, but the sun blasted down on the tar and Velu's bare feet burned. So it was so hot in the morning also that Velu's, who was bare feet, it started burning. It was not like walking on a mud road. He was soaked with sweat. He tried hard to walk in the shade and keep up with the girl at the same time. She walked really fast. How far away was the food? So Velu was sweating, his feet were burning, and he was trying to walk in a shade. It was different from walking in mud at his village. At the same time, he had to keep up with the girl. She was really walking very fast, and Velu just wondered how far away is the food. After almost an hour of walking, they stopped in front of a building. Sri Rajeshwari Prasanna Kalyanam Mandapam, read Velu slowly. A sign with letters made of flowers said, Groom J.V. Vinayagan, Bride Rani. Velu stared at the big cars parked outside. One of the cars had a flower garland and roses tapped into it. The girl looked around, pulled one off quickly and stuck it in her hair. So after almost an hour of walking, they stopped in front of a big building, which was actually a marriage hall with the name of the building written and name of the groom and the bride written there. There was a car parked outside with garlands on it, garland and roses. And the girl quickly pulled one rose and put it on her hair. Come on, she said. Are we going to eat here? Asked Velu, looking at the huge hall and the people inside. So when Velu saw that, he just asked, are we going to eat here? There was a huge hall and people inside. Hopes, said the girl, shaking her thumb under her nose. She led him behind the hall. There was a big garbage bin overflowing with rubbish. 2 goats were standing on the pile, fighting for a banana leaf. A cloud of flies buzzed around their legs. There was a rotten smell in the air. The girl picked up a squashy means crushed, banana and held it out to Velu. So when Velu asked, are we going here? The girl said, hopes. And then she went behind the hall, and there was a big garbage bin there which was overflowing with garbage, with rubbish. There were 2 goats also standing there. They were fighting for a banana leaf, and there was flies buzzing around. There was rotten smell in the air. From there, the girl picked up a crushed banana and she tossed it towards Velu, and she said, here's your food. Velu was shocked. He just said, are we going to eat these leftovers? Che, what do you think I am, a dog? I only take untouched food. Here, some more. Catch. She threw him a vada. Velu looked at it with a distaste. So, Velu was not ready to eat it. He said that I only eat untouched food, and the girl was not even paying a heed. She was looking for whatever she could grab for eating, and she threw a vada towards him. Come on, hero, eat it. You think I like it? I told you I'll find you something to eat. Don't think I have money to buy food for you. You'd better eat what you get until you have your own money. So the girl just taunted him that, do you think you are a hero? Do you think I'm going to buy food for you from money? I don't have money for that. You eat whatever you get until you have your own money. Velu hesitated, but his stomach squeezed him again. Squeezed him again means he was feeling very hungry, as if his stomach was going inside. He gulped down the banana and vada. His stomach felt very better immediately. He could have eaten at least 10 times more, but the girl could find only 1 more banana, which she ate herself. So Velu, although couldn't eat that food, but he was very hungry. So he gulped down the banana and the vada also, and he felt better in his stomach. He wanted to eat more, but the girl could find only 1 more banana, which she ate herself. Gulped means swallowed. It's too early. They have only eaten tiffin. If you are still hungry, you will have to wait for them to finish lunch. You can wait if you want. I have to work. I'm going. She picked up a couple of bottles from the heap and threw it into her sack. Then she walked off. So the girl said that it's too early because it's morning only and they have eaten only tiffin. If you want more, you can wait till they finish their lunch. And then she said that I have work, I have to go. And she picked up a couple of bottles from that garbage and put that in her sack and walked off. Velu panicked. Now Velu got scared. He realized that if the girl left him, he had no idea where he was and what to do. It was better to stick to her. She seemed to know her way around. He ran after her again. So Velu thought that this girl knows the way around, and if the girl leaves, he had no idea where to go. So it was better to stay with that girl, and he ran after her. "Hey," he called. He did not even know the girl's name. "Hey, what is your name?" he asked, hurrying behind her. She stopped and turned around. "Oh, so you have been following me around without even knowing my name?" "Jaya." "I'm not following you." "What then? Who got you food?" "Can I come with you?" "Where are you going?" "Come if you want. This bag is full. I have to go home to get another." So Velu decided to stick to the girl, and he finally asked the girl's name, and the girl told that you have been coming along with me, running around me, and you don't even know my name. Then she told that her name is Jaya. And Velu said, "I'm not following you." And the girl said, "Who got you food?" Then Velu said, "Where are you going?" And the girl said that this bag is full. I'm going to keep it at home and get another bag. Now the third part, in which we will study that there is a row of huts near some dirty puddles. Puddles, that means muddy puddles. Outside one of the huts, Jaya dumps her sack. Grateful to his friend, Velu think of the days ahead. So further we will read that Velu goes to a place where there are huts near some dirty muddy puddles, and outside one of the hut, Jaya dumps her sack and she gets another, and Velu is just thankful to his new friend. Jaya and Velu walked along the roads for half an hour until they came to a bridge across a dirty trickle of water. "We are in Triplicane now." Triplicane is a place in Chennai. "See, that's a Buckingham Canal," said Jaya. So they just walked for around half an hour more until they came across a bridge where there was dirty water trickling, and it was Triplicane. And Jaya told her about the names of the places around. Velu stared. There was a canal. Near some puddles of water was a row of strangest hut he has ever seen. They were built out of all sorts of things: metal, sheets, tires, bricks, wood and plastic. They stood crookedly. Crookedly means not straight, and looked as if they would fall any moment. So Velu was just surprised. He looked around and there were huts made of all sort of things, and they were not even straight, and they felt as if they are going to fall any moment. "Is this where you live? These houses are strange," said Velu. "In our village, the houses are made of mud and palm leaves." So that is why Velu was surprised, because in his village, houses were made of mud and palm leaves, and here houses were made of all sorts of things. Jaya went around to one of the huts and dumped her sack outside. Then she picked up an empty one. "Let's go." She turned to Velu and gave him a shove. Shove means push. "At least help me now. Here, wear these and come with me." So outside one of the hut, Jaya just dumped her sack and she took another one. She gave a push to Velu and said, "At least help me now." She threw him a pair of old shoes without laces and pushed a sack and a stick into his hands. Velu was confused. What work did she want him to do with these things? The only work he had ever done was on the landowner's farm, weeding and taking cows to graze. Weeding means removing grass from field. "Are there any farms in the city?" he asked Jaya. So Jaya gave him a sack, a stick and an old pair of shoes. And Velu just wondered what is he going to do with these things, because the only work he had done was in landowner's farm, removing grass and grazing cows. And then he asked Jaya, "Are there farms around the city?" She laughed and thumped her stick on the ground. "Farms? There are no farms here. We are ragpickers." "Ragpickers? See my sack full of things I collected." "Collected from where?" asked Velu. "From rubbish bins. Where else?" So when Velu asked, "Are there farms around here?" Jaya laughed and she said that no, there are no farms. We are ragpickers. And Velu was surprised. What are rag pickers? Who are rag pickers? And then Jaya said that we collect things. In my sack there are things. And Velu asked, collect from where? And Jaya replied, we collect from rubbish bins. We collect from dustbins. Where else? And Velu was surprised again. You collect rubbish? Velu had never heard of such a thing. I, blockhead. Blockhead means fool. It is not any rubbish, only papers, plastic, glass, such things. We sell it to Jam Bazaar Jagu. And Jaya said that it's not rubbish. We collect only papers, plastic, glass, and then we sell it to Jam Bazaar Jagu. Now Velu was surprised. He had heard of people throwing away rubbish, not collecting them, or anyone buying them. And then he asked, who is Jam Bazaar Jagu? Why is he buying all these things? You think he buys it for show? He sells it to the factory. Come on, I don't have time to waste like you. Then Jaya said that he doesn't buy those things for show. He just sell it to factory. And then she said that I don't have time to waste like you. I have to go work. And Velu did not move. He hadn't run away and come to this new place to dig through garbage bins. Jaya poked at him with her stick. So Velu just stood there thinking. He was just thinking that he hadn't run away from his home to collect garbage bins, to go dig through garbage bins and collect garbage. He was just in his thought when Jaya poked him with her stick. Look here, she shouted. If someone gets there before us, we don't get anything. Don't just stand there posing big hero. I'm trying to help you. Who filled your stomach today? Velu scratched his head and sighed. I'll do it for now, he thought, until I find a better job. So Velu stood there thinking, and Jaya poked him with her stick, and she said that if somebody goes there before us, we would not be able to find anything. And didn't I fill your stomach today? So that in that way, she just wanted to ask Velu to come with her. And Velu was still scratching his head. He was just thinking that for now he will do this work until he gets a better job. So this was about the chapter. The chapter is taken from the book From Trash on Ragpicker, Children and Recycling, written by Geeta Wolf, Anushka Ravishankar and Arijit Sen. So these are some of the reasons why children work students. Now if you want to go through the question answers, you can pause the video here and go through the question answers. I would prefer you to do them by yourself and then cross-check. Do comment if you want to ask any question. Till then, bye-bye.